Mad J's Barbecue. Mad J's. J's. All kinds of J's working over there. They have Nazareth. They have Blandon. MadJ'sBarbecue.com. That's going to have all of your information for everything that they're doing. They're doing nachos. They're doing pulled pork. They're doing brisket. They're smoking everything over there. They got some new items on the menu. If you go to MadJ'sBarbecue.com, that's going to have your hours for both locations. It's going to have your times. Please check those before you just show up. Or you can give them a call. All that information is on MadJ'sBarbecue.com. They got fantastic barbecue, really good people. They're doing pop-ups if you need them for pop-ups and you're a brewery and you need to get some food going over there. They do catering, weddings. They handle it all. It's Mad J's Barbecue, specializing in smoked barbecue and specialty items. MadJ'sBarbecue.com. Please check them out, and thank you for sponsoring the show. Giacomo's Italian Market. What an awesome relationship that has blossomed between Never Again Studio and Giacomo's Italian Market. We've been working with them with Studio Kitchen. We've been doing their Italian sausage and going to pop-ups with them. I love Sal. I love all the guys over there. It's always awesome collaborating. And you should go check them out. They got specialty Italian items. They're famous for the cheesesteak, the sausage. I can't even list everything because everything over there on that menu is fantastic. It's a home run. They are in Easton, PA, 700 Cattell Street. That's 700 Cattell Street in Easton, PA. They are over by College Hill. It's a dope area to check out. You need to go there. They got plenty of inside seating. They got all kinds of specialty Italian things off to the side, of pasta, vodka sauce. I usually just go there because I'm not making it as good as Sal. So I pick up my vodka sauce and, I say, what's up? We got some oils and all kinds of different things. But I can't say nothing but positive things over at Giacomo's. If you know them, you know them. If you don't know them, you're crazy and you need to get over there. That's 700 Cattell Street in Easton. That's Giacomo's Italian Market. Tell Sal what's up. At Sabrachi Jewelry Design, or Sabrachi. I don't even say his name right anymore because of Zach. He's a sponsor of Now We Go, and he's a sponsor of this show. He's a dual sponsor. He's a gemologist. He's a jeweler. He's specialized in CAD design, and he's also a branding specialist. You need anything at all done in those categories, Matt is the best motherfucker for that. It's D'Antonio and Klein Jewelers in Philadelphia, PA, and he's also going to be doing it soon to be in Lehigh Valley, PA. You can call or DM for appointments. He's in Philly on 726 Sanson Street, and you can follow him on social media at Sabrachi Jewelry Design. He's made pendants for finishers. We're working on stuff together. It's not just jewelry. We're working on pendants and all kinds of things. He's making rings. He can do anything that you need, from design to gems to jewelers. He is the real deal, and I'm excited. He's a childhood friend who grew a diamond business. He's a jeweler. We did a podcast with him. It's a cool story. Check him out. Sabrachi Jewelry Designs. Never Again Radio. I have no clue what episode this is because we're actually ahead. Welcome to Never Again Radio, man. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for driving here, one. You made 4 of your burgers. They're all unique, different, and I can't wait to dig into them, but I kind of want to get into, where did you get into food before you even thought about getting into a food truck?
Pretty much that was my downtime. I just love to cook. No kitchen experience, no chef experience.
That's crazy.
None of that. I worked in a factory for probably 15 years.
That's fun.
And yeah. And every time I was stressed out, it's either the gym or cooking. And I always wanted a food truck. Got laid off about like 3 years ago, and I decided to buy a food truck.
Where did the concept come up with everything that you have on the menu? And I kind of know how, like, I got into burgers and whatnot, but like, where did it kind of start? Where you were like, like you made it and you're like, oh, I want to make that again, and been like, oh, this is like something I can sell. And like, were you feeding friends at parties, or like, where did it kind of jump off to doing it?
So a lot of my recipes has just came spur of the moment. If I actually sit down and think about it, it comes out like shit. It comes horrible. So spur of the moment, this is gonna be good. My menu came, and then I tested my product, and just worked out. The product ended up being good. I had no prior thoughts of what I was gonna make too much. You know, I know I didn't want to do any lettuce and tomato. That right off the bat, is one thing.
Were you into burgers?
I always into burgers. I love grilling. I got tired of the big 8-ounce patties.
It's a lot.
You know, the medium rare. I was getting tired of it. Then the smash burger kick happened. Everyone was, you know, talking about smash burgers. So I started making it. Yo, these are actually really good. And then the recipes just start coming as I'm like smashing it. I'm like, all right, bacon. I want a bacon burger. Bacon jam. I just put bacon jam and bacon. Who doesn't like extra bacon? You know? That's where that come from. And then so the Philly special came from, I was supposed to do cheesesteaks on my food truck, right? I was doing cheesesteaks.
Yeah, because you have the flat top. Because, like, once you get into the flat top, you're kind of like, you're not limited to things, but there's, like, the classics that you can do on a flat top. You always have breakfast. You always have the cheesesteak. The burgers was something that I didn't even think about doing on a flat top until I worked at a deli, and then they would do, like, the fried burger. They weren't pressing them or anything. Like I said, it was weird when that came around because I was working in a deli still, and then you're like, yeah, I think if I just, like, smash this out. Like, I was, like, smashing frozen patties we were using. Like, it was just something that was, like, it seemed odd that you would be doing that. But yeah, it was weird the way that came about.
Yeah, so I was gonna do the cheesesteaks at first. You're right, with the flat top. Everyone got flat top cheesesteak.
Onions, like
right. So I started the cheesesteak. I did a trial with the cheesesteak. I just wasn't happy with it because I did a full run trying to do cheesesteak and burgers at the same time.
Yeah.
So what happened was I was burning my cheesesteak. Like the cheesesteak wasn't coming out to the way I like it. I'm like, you know what? This 86 is a cheesesteak. Just stick with the burgers. The name is Why Not Burgers, not Why Not Burgers and Cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
So I just canceled out the cheesesteak, and then I still want to involve the cheesesteak in my burger, and that's where the Philly special came from, having the ribeye on the beef patty, provolone, onion, house sauce. And that's where that one came from.
When you started kind of getting into this originally, who was tasting all these? Were you giving them the family and friends, and then was it kind of like you were kind of building like, yeah, I'll keep that one, or you know, or was it just kind of like you had enough confidence in them, or who was kind of your taste testers in day one?
My fiance, she's a big taste tester, and my brother.
It's important to have those.
My brother was a big part of this business. He was a big taste tester. He came out to every event, and my family. They were nice about it, but not honest enough about it.
Yeah.
You know? And my kids.
Kids are the best because they're not going to lie to you.
Yeah. You know, my son loves the boogie on bacon. My daughter says extra bacon jam. So I'm like, okay, they're liking that one. So my fiance, my brother, and then I did do a dry run. Well, when was that, babe? September of 21, we did a dry run in the backyard, right? Just had a bunch of family friends come. Oh, what a shit show that was. I fucked that day up so bad.
You have to.
Oh my God, it was horrible.
I look back on, we started Studio Kitchen in Finishers MMA's parking lot. And I thought that I was going to be able to have a spoon or a knife and spread the mayo on every burger. And then when I was in the middle of it, I was like, this is so wrong. And then now there's a line. And then Gina's like, hey. And I'm like, I haven't felt pressure like that since I did cook in a kitchen. And I'm like, okay, like, here we go. And then I'm like, I guess this is cooking again. And then, there was so many steps then. And then on the ride home, it was always the ride home. Well, I would say to Gina, be like, we need to cut this out. We need to cut that out. This is where we can cut a corner there. And even from her perspective of, because you don't even think about like wrapping it and serving it. And then that's a whole nother monster in like considered the front of the house. But like, it took us probably 10 events until like, we had a rhythm down, and we still change things to make it better to this day.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. So that dry run.
How many people were there?
50?
Oh my 60? God! Yeah, that's about what we started with. It's not. It's not an easy task to hit that.
It was in the backyard. 50, 60 people showed up.
I want to get into like how you got the truck, but did you have the truck there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the truck was there. So I got the truck first. The truck was ready to go.
Yeah.
Right? It's still, for the most part, it was ready. I had two griddles and an electric fryer. Man, so the one griddle was like toasting the buns.
Yep.
The electric fryer wasn't keeping up.
Nope, you find that out fast with fries.
My meat was disgusting. Like, I was not happy with my meat product. The bacon jam I burned. I'm just like, this.
Everyone's like, great.
Yeah, everyone's like, this is great. Oh yeah. I'm like, oh, the burgers were great. I'm like, what? Like, no. So that's what the dry run was, family and friends, but probably had one bad review. I'm like, no, everything was shit show that day.
Especially, well, I mean, you always hold yourself to, or at least how I am, is like, I'm always the worst critic, where like, you know, there's even times like where I'll be getting tired and I'm trying to put the burgers out, and then I'll be like, that definitely was not as awesome as the very first burger that went out today, but we've been here for 3 hours.
Yeah.
But with a smash burger, and especially like with what you're doing, like the flavors there, it's like there is wiggle room for it to be off a little bit. But like when you first start out and it's off, like, it's a defeating moment that you need to have in order to adjust yourself to get to the correct level.
Because every once in a while I go back to that day.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, damn, man, we've came such a long way.
Yeah.
Our time is better, product is better, production is better. It was a crazy day, but it has improved a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's also what is appealing to me about doing it is I like putting the work in, and I like tinkering it, and I like making it better, and I like almost maintenance on it to just get a more efficient way. So, you know, because everybody likes the food, but then if it's getting served faster, and like, you know, because there is a little bit of a wait because you're cooking them fresh food, but at the same time, I always liked building an atmosphere. So I like to have music playing, and like I like to have a good time because I'm also not in somebody else's kitchen working. So like I'm like, hey, wait, this is mine. Like, because I'd say to Gina, I'm like, hey, let's put some lights up. So when it starts getting darker, like it's like intimate and there's an atmosphere here.
Right.
And then I was like, I'm going to start bringing my speaker and just play a Spotify list. And then people are like enjoying the music and there's lights. And then, you know, and then now they have a beer because you're at a brewery, and like, you can really create a cool ambiance.
We're the same way when it comes to the music and the light.
Yeah, I think it's important.
I think the music is key for my production.
Absolutely.
And people having fun. Once the music shuts off, I'm like,
I can't work like that.
Like, what the fuck just happened? I was like, babe, turn the music up.
Yeah.
I can't hear the customers. Turn the music up. I need to work.
Because it's like when the music's on, it's like I'll either go to the rhythm or my timing. Like when I worked at the deli, I used to have a playlist that was it was like an hour and a half long. So the last hour was the last hour that we had. And then when you got to a specific song, they knew it was almost time to clean up. So like I'd put the playlist on and nobody knew it, but then I would do it every night because everybody enjoyed the music. Mm-hmm. And then I'd put it on and like Alessandro or someone would be like, hour left. And I was like, yep, this is the last hour. But like you can do a lot with music when you're cooking. You can keep your timing down where it's like, all right, this playlist has been going on for an hour. You know, like I really use it to actually block a lot of stuff out where you can focus on the music, which stops the distraction of the stress. And then you can keep cooking. Yeah. And that's just keep cooking. And I think that's what I'm obsessed with, is like the grind on that.
Right. And then we have songs for almost closing, like the closing time song. Then we have a
get out of here.
Yeah.
It's like bartending.
And then we have a sellout song where we sold out.
Yep.
You know,
That's
we
dope.
have music for certain scenarios of the situation. And if it's really busy, I just listen to some EDC music.
Yeah.
And that's where it just gets me going, some hardcore music, and then I'm just in my zone.
Yeah, I love getting in there. When you had to buy the truck with not having worked in a kitchen or any previous real experience, how did you even know you were getting the correct truck? Where did you find the truck? Would you just look used food truck? Like, so this is a fun rabbit hole to go down, because the fact that you didn't really know where you were going is totally crazy.
I've always wanted a food truck. Right?
Yeah.
And then, like I said earlier, I got laid off. And then I told my fiance, I was like, I've always wanted a food truck. She went on Facebook Marketplace, found a food truck. I'm like, I went to go look at it. I'm like, it's a complete dumpster, but has all the parts, has what I'm looking for.
The bones.
It has the bones, has majority of the equipment. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Facebook Marketplace, found the truck, brought
That's
it home.
crazy. But Marketplace is, you can find anything on that.
Yeah. So
Where was it? Local?
it was local in Warren County, New Jersey.
What was it before?
Sausage and cheesesteak.
Yeah.
It used to be at, I don't know if you remember the Pocono Flea Market.
Yeah.
Back in the day. It was big back then. And the guy used to be there every weekend.
Yeah. So it had the bones for it, and then you
the
knew the equipment was going to be used for what you were already getting into.
Right,
So
so-
at that point, you knew you were going to do burgers?
Yeah. Yeah. Before I even bought it, I knew I was going to do burgers.
Yeah. So then you had the 2 flat tops, which is a no-brainer, because if you didn't do anything else besides that, you're set up.
Right. So I got rid of the one flat top, the 24-inch one, because I'm only doing burgers. I've replaced the flat top with a gas fryer. So all I
I want to get back to that. Electric fryers and all that seemed like a great idea. We did one down here, and we did a side of fries, and I just got crinkle cut fries, and we ran 2 air fryers, and that was an absolute nightmare because you don't realize. I was dumb because I worked in the food industry before, but Gina did not, and then like we couldn't get our timing down, and then people started waiting. They didn't care because like I was just letting kind of people hang out down here and have beers, and very similar to what I was explaining I want to do up there. But like I wanted to create an atmosphere. But then after a while, it's like, dude, we're waiting 25 minutes for 2 fries, and then the fryer's so heated it's got to shut down. And then like I was like, cool, we're not doing that ever again until we have a fryer. And even when we were at the deli, we had so much business. One fryer, you start learning the temperatures go down. Even the flat top's the same way, where people don't ever really get into like, if it's too cold out, my flat top's not running right. If it's like your volume's real heavy, it starts going too low, and then you got to wait for it to come back up. And that's the same way with a fryer. That electric fryer was probably a nightmare.
Yeah, it was a complete disaster. It didn't work.
Did you get rid of that after the family pop-up?
Yeah,
yes,
we got rid
that's
of
why
it
you
after
need it, though.
Yeah, I got rid of it. I'm
like,
not
anybody
using
here
this
want a
again.
fryer?
Actually, it's still shoved somewhere in my barn somewhere.
Yeah.
Collecting dust right now, but that was horrible because as soon as you put the fryer in, it dropped too low.
Yeah.
The fries in, and it just dropped, and people waiting 20 minutes for fries.
Yeah.
Just like, it can't happen.
And especially when you can bang a burger out, like smash burgers, they're you can do them fast.
Yeah.
If you want to do like massive volume, it's way faster than trying to like cook a 8-ounce burger to medium rare.
Right. And so the fry situation is a lot better. And that, speaking of medium rare, I get people coming up to me, can I get a medium rare burger?
I just say yeah. Or Gina will be like, can I get this? And I'm like, yep. And then I just make it. And they're like, oh, dude, thanks. And I'm like, yeah, it's no problem.
Yeah? I was like, sorry, man, they're smash style. They're like, what's the smash style?
I did all that, and then I just stopped. Yep, it's I'll get you. Like, there's no wiggle room on that.
Yeah.
Gina knows at this point, kind of like after doing it, because I'll mess with her and then I'll give it to her, and she's like, it's medium rare, right? And I'm like, you can't tempt these. I said, they're done in 30 seconds. They're like, it's that razor thin.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's the temping too. I don't. The smash burger is so unique because you can almost like leave it cook because then it gets crunchy. But then when you flip it, you can throw the cheese on right away, and then like there is wiggle room, but not a lot.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Not a lot. So if you got an 8-ounce patty, you have more room, more time to do stuff. You could put like 10 down and let them cook.
Yeah.
With the smash style, once you smash them,
When you're at the end, you're back here now flipping.
yeah. So by the first one I smashed, by the time I'm to my 10th patty, I'm cheesing the first one.
Yeah.
So
I like the rhythm of it, though. I like, there's something about it. Like, I didn't do food for a couple years, and then Angelo, my machine was down here, and we made a burger, and we started getting into burgers, and then I started getting excited about cooking again, and then when I made it, just the process of making it, because it was like odd the first time I did it, where I smashed it, and I was like, okay, I think I did that, and then like the second one, I was like, oh, I can like push this harder, and then like once you find like it's a cool experience to make them, but I really enjoy just like it's a fast pace, like it's like bam, 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 salt, 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 and then if you get a rhythm down to that and catch that window where like how you did today down here, like it's awesome. Like you hit that window and you can hit that money spot, and then you have a rhythm, and then you're almost addicted to keep the rhythm going.
Right. So
which goes with music.
So today, I banged out four burgers in 5, 10 minutes.
It actually takes longer doing like the setup of like the buns and all that.
the setup does take long, and then it takes longer for the griddle to warm up than me to smash the burgers.
Yeah. Because I'll have because by the time we did like a third or fourth pop up, then you start having people waiting, especially if they're coming for you. Like they don't care about the brewery or wherever you are, they just want the food. And then I'd have people lining up, and I'm just trying to warm everything up and get ready. And then like Gina starts taking orders, and I'm like, yo, like I got 10 minutes.
I'm not ready.
Yeah. So now it's like we've come such a long way where it's just like, hey man, we're gonna be 5-10 minutes, and but the early stuff when you don't know what you're doing and you don't like know how to be like polite about telling people to wait and not just telling them and then they're waiting there. You say, hey, come back. But then we would sell out, and then the next time we come to finishers, people would come up and be like, oh, I didn't get a burger last time, and they would like sit and wait. It's cool with selling out on doing that stuff too.
It is. So when I first started, I was selling out quite often. I'm like, what's wrong? I'm still too early. It's like I'm not good on inventory. And then I started expanding my inventory. We're getting almost 40 pounds of meat, 10 pounds of fries. I'm just like, I'm still selling out. I'm like, I got to mentally set myself a cutoff. I'm like, this is it. This is my number. If I sell out, I sell out.
It's important to do that. I talked to them about doing that up at the bagel shop and being like, I don't want to spread ourselves too thin. And what I want to do is have a number. And when we hit it, that is satisfactory. And then we're going to inch forward because we didn't really start moving our number around. We only made it up like probably increments of like 20 or 25. Like we'd start with 50 burgers. And I'm like, I think we could do 75. Then 75 would go. And then it's like, okay, but I've already gone too far. And then I'm like, man, I got all this burger now I got to get rid of. So like we've kind of found our sweet spot where like we have a number we go into a new place with, and if we sell out fast then we'll come up. But like I don't really bring like, I don't know, it's important because you can be oversold by a brewery who are like, it's gonna be crazy, and then 8 people show up. Or you could be undersold and then you're slammed and you're done in 25 minutes. So it's like it's a weird thing to be doing because it's your business going inside somebody else's business, but you have to dictate it 100% because you're the only one taking a loss in the situation.
Right.
So if you bring 500 burgers and you sell 80, that's a big problem to have. And then you wave goodbye, and then now you have to go home with inventory. You didn't make any money, and then now you're like, oh, cool. So like it's important to just keep that number.
Right. So we have a number. We're sticking to it. If we sell out, we sell out.
And you made your money.
Right. And people got the product. If you missed out, I apologize, but that's my fucking number. I'm not changing it. It's just I don't want to set myself too thin and then just have inventory left over, and now I'm just eating food costs.
Yeah.
With prices, the way everything is.
Dude, it's crazy.
I can't afford to eat food
I went to a restaurant store like 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh, here's what everyone's talking about.
Cheese.
Oh, my God. Cheese is what killed me. I was like, shit. God. Yeah. But everything's up.
Yeah. So that's... And going back to the griddle and the fryer earlier we were talking about.
Yeah.
I was at Yergi last Friday. It was insane. Last weekend was insane. Crazy weekend. But my griddle was dirty. I had to stop for like 10 minutes to clean my griddle.
Yeah, you got to do that.
To get it cleaned. And once I cleaned it, I had to get
back up to 10.
And so, people are waiting a bit longer, but I don't want to push it. Like, I've thrown away burgers that I wasn't happy about. And she's like, oh, just throw more cheese on it. I'm like, nah. no.
Yeah, you have to do that stuff to keep the quality control. And then, I learned keeping the flat top clean working at the deli because I would make an order and then I would, I'd have my water there and I'd get it all down and have my rag. I'd wipe the whole thing clean and then it's ready for the next one. And it's an extra step, but you're giving the best version of the product. Because even when I'm like, because I could probably do 2 rounds of burgers without cleaning, but after that stuff starts sticking up, it starts building up, the cheese starts getting weird. Now you're like having to like put your whole goddamn body into it to like chip away because it got to that. So I like to stay on top of that as well. It's a good habit to have. And then the fryer oil and all that stuff, like fryers are a whole nother monster. So you switch to what, propane that runs off the side of it, or how does that work?
I got 2 30-gallon propane tanks that run both my 36-inch griddle and my fryer. I just got 35-pound fryer, double basket. Simple, but it runs. I have one black line that feeds both.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not. Saturday night, I ran out of propane. I guess I came unprepared. So I ran out of propane.
And it's the time you don't bring 9 propane bottles.
No. Right. So
because I always bring extra since the beginning when we went, and I never ran out of propane, but I also I can't tell how much propane is in the tank other than lifting it. So like I would always bring a couple, but there's a couple I did where I just brought one and then it was faulty, and then I had to quick run to a gas station, which now put me like 20 minutes behind, and I'm spending $55 on a Blue Rhino.
Right.
Because the gauge was rusty because I didn't go and get it filled up at Tractor Supply and like do the correct steps, but sometimes you run out of time. And then I'm like super behind now, and I'm like, oh, why didn't you bring 2 tanks? You always bring 2 tanks.
Saturday, that's what happened to me on Saturday.
Yeah.
7 Sound Brewery. It was slow from 1 to 5:30, right? I sent my fiance home. Like, go home. It's a slow night. I'm just eat the cost, whatever. And then Jordan comes out. He's like, listen, we get a great late crowd. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll stay. 7:30 comes, my tanks run empty. I'm like, oh man, what the fuck am I gonna do? I see the crowd just coming in and coming in. I don't want to shut down. So Mike from Easy Weenies came by with 2 tanks, or with 1 tank. Connected me. It's still not working. And still, a year later, I'm still learning my food truck.
Yeah.
He said you gotta bleed out the air. I didn't know that. I never knew that. So I turned everything on, unhooked everything. I had to bleed out the air. Wait 3, 4, 5 minutes. Plug back in. Boom. I'm golden. At this point, I have a line out the door waiting for food because it's 8:30 now.
Yeah.
Like, my propane was empty. I missed the extra step. Had no time. I paid the price. Like 2 hours straight, I had 15 orders out for 2 hours straight.
Yeah.
Nonstop. It was fun. And I sent her home. I sent her home.
Yeah, that's when that stuff happens.
She's at home looking at the square report. It's like, oh fuck. Oh shit.
Do you want me to come back? Yeah. No, I mean, that's always when that happens, is when you're like, you know what, you can go home. Because there's sometimes where we did sit around and you're just kind of like, this sucks, because everybody wants to be busy. And then it's like you send someone home and then next thing you know, you're slammed. I mean, that's happened at the restaurant a million times. Be like, dude, you go home, hang out with your family tonight. This is going to be dead. And literally the moment they drive out the door, the phone won't stop ringing. And then now you're a guy short and it's just like, oh.
Yeah. But, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that also makes it, like the problem solving with that too. It's like, you know, that's a nice ride home where it's like, all right, cool. Like I figured that problem out and we made money and I got all the tickets out, and it's like nothing can really get much worse than this.
Right.
So you know what I mean? Like it is, there's so many things that I take from those rides home from doing the pop-ups. And I think it's like, a part of it no one sees, where like, you know, you especially if you got like a 35, 40-minute drive, you know, and it's, when you have a good night, like that's a nice ride home, man.
It is
like,
a nice ride home.
It's like a dump out from exercise because of all the stress and all the running around, and then you're just like calm. And then it's like, then if you made your money, you feel like you're accomplishing something and building your business, and then it's just like, cool. And then it's like, oh, you know what else we should try there, or this would work there. And then you just kind of like start building your menu out a little bit more. Those are all the things that I think a lot of people don't see that is the appeal for me to keep doing it, is like the little stuff, like even like setting up and like just getting there, and like, you know, I'll bring a leaf blower sometimes and then just clear the whole area out, set the tents up. Like it's like a little ritual before, you know, the shit hits the fan.
Right. It's the same thing with me. I open it up an hour before, it's just me.
Yeah.
When I close, it's just me.
I like closing by myself, and people always try and help me, but it's just, there's something about that I like to do alone.
Right. And I'm the same way. As soon as the hours of operation are done, I tell her to go home, or my stepdaughter.
Yep. And then that's when I'll have a beer, and then you just kind of calm down. And then sometimes, you know, people be like, dude, let's get you packed up. And I'm like, bro, I just rushed all night. I don't care if this takes me 3 hours. I am not rushing to get out of here. Sometimes I want to leave, but other times I'm like, I just want to take this in. I want to take it in. Let me have this downtime, come down, clean up, and then I'm going to enjoy my ride home. I do not need to be stressed anymore. That was horrible.
Yeah, because if you're having a slow start to the day, you're stressed out.
Yeah.
But if it finishes nice, you do have a nice ride home. You enjoy.
Especially in the summertime with the windows down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have no AC in my pickup truck, so my windows are always down.
Yeah. I had a pickup I had an old pickup we started with, and then it was starting to go, and then I got rid of the truck and my car, and then that's when I got the Transit. And when I got the Transit, that's when like life became so much easier because we're not pulling stuff up to the back of the bed, and then we were able to just fit everything in there, and everything's got a place, and you can just kind of organize it, and then it's just like that was way easier. And I actually just enjoyed having a van because I can use it for mountain biking. My Grom fits up in the back. Like once we switched over to that, that's when we really started like making money and picking up events, and it was like really easy to do a lot of it. But the food truck's a whole nother monster.
Well, this is why I prefer the trailer over the truck, the food truck.
Yeah.
The trailer is easier, and I could always unhook it and have a second vehicle there.
I went back and forth. I always wanted a food truck, and then there was always like permits and stuff, and there was a lot to look into. And then, and then a buddy of mine started doing barbecue, and then he had a custom pull behind trailer built out for him. And I was like, why did you go with the trailer? And he's like, well, after like researching and stuff, he's like, if you're in a food truck and you blow a tire out, he's like, you're kind of screwed. And then he's like, and then if you set up and you forget something and you need to go to the store or go back somewhere, or you got to run somewhere, you have to take the whole truck with you. He's like, this way, you just can kind of set it up, and then you have a separate vehicle if you need to do running around. Plus, if something would happen, if a tire would blow out, you could switch the trailer out or vice versa. And then I was like, oh yeah, that would be the way to go, would be the pull behind. Yeah. Is that what you have, is the trailer?
Yeah, it's a trailer, small trailer.
Yeah.
If I have to redo it, like start all over again, I'll go back with the trailer.
Yeah.
Just something about the truck, diesel. I'm not a diesel mechanic. I don't know. If something breaks, I don't want to have a diesel mechanic on hand all the time. If something happens with my pickup truck, at least I could work on it.
Yeah.
I could do the work. I could take it to any mechanic shop.
Or use another vehicle to pull it if you had to.
Right. So if I had to do it again, I would stick with the trailer.
Yeah. When you started kind of getting into the business a little bit heavier, and like you started kind of developing your menu, when you first came out and did your first pop-up, how many burgers did you have on the menu, and what was kind of the original menu? Because I know we just started out doing burgers, and then like we were like, we're never going to be able to do anything other than this. And then after a little bit, Gina's like, hey, I think we could do a side, and we could put it in a crock pot, and then I could be doing that while I'm waiting for you to do the burger. And then that's when we started then we baby stepped into sides, and now it's like, it's regular for us to be like, hey, we could do this for a side, or like, hey, we can do that and heat it up on the flat top. Like, how did you kind of come out the gate with your original menu? Was it just burgers, or did you have sides on it? Or
so my original menu is the one I have now.
Yeah.
I haven't changed it yet. I ran specials for like a Thursday, like a chopped cheese.
Do you like doing the specials?
Yeah, it's fun.
You could probably make a gangster chopped cheese after that.
Oh, man. So my original 5 burgers are original 5. Like, my menus stayed the same for almost a year, because I'm not running specials, or I'm not changing my menu yet, just because I know not that many people have tried my food.
No.
I'm only been open a year, but out of that year, I'm not a full-time. It's not 5 days a week, 6 days a week. It's 3-4 days a week, sometimes 2 days a week. So I don't plan on changing my menu just yet, but the specials was my chopped cheese, the breakfast bomb, which is fucking killer. The chopped cheese was a Thursday special, because I know every Thursday I'm going to be at a brewery. Whatever beer they have, I infuse my onions with it. Beer caramelized onions, that was my special. Chopped cheese with beer infused caramelized onions. So that was going good for a while. Then I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to do this. I used to go to bakery.
Yeah, what did you do for the bread?
Local bakery, 8-inch sub.
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing. So good. So good. With the bread, I just toasted, like, got the outside crispy and chopped up everything, put it inside. I did that for a while, and then I took a break from the special. And, because, listen, at the end of the day, my 5 burgers are working.
Yeah.
They're killing it. That's the original menu. And there's a lot of people still haven't had my burgers yet.
That's what I started noticing when I would, we did, what was it? I did like a really classic style burger where I did a similar smash burger to what I use now, except for I used a different cheese, and then I used a different sauce, and it was good. And the reaction I was getting was it was good. But the reaction that I get from the other burger is, yo, this fucking burger. So like I started realizing I was now telling people that is good, but what I normally serve, and then I caught myself and I was like, stop doing this.
Yeah.
And then this is it. Serve this. Everybody loves this. Everybody wants it. And like what you said, just because I have a lot of repeat customers that come back to get it because it's good doesn't mean that I should build my menu around those people when not everyone has had the burger. And then when I started thinking about that, I'm like, yeah, this area is big, but there's also a shitload of people that never had this burger. And if somebody has the burger that's good compared to the burger that's like, holy shit, I'll drive for that.
Right.
That's totally different.
So that's one of the main reasons I laid off the chopped cheese.
Yeah.
Or some specials I run. That's the main reason. That is good. Don't get me wrong. The chopped cheese is good. It's really good. But the original 5 are better.
Yeah.
So,
and then that's where it starts getting weird where like you're doing sandwiches that aren't as good as the originals, then it's like, well, why am I doing this? Like sometimes I'll add in Giacomo sausage, but that Giacomo sausage sandwich is comparable. It's up there with the burger. The burgers, it's 2 different sandwiches, but like the Giacomo's one is awesome to do because I can have Gina doing that because I put it in like a crock pot, but it's like I like sausage in a crock pot all day like that. So it's grilled and then we put it in vodka sauce with onions and
good.
Like it's a lot of, but I mean his product is also, you know, as much as we care about these burgers, he cares about that sausage. So it's not just sausage. It's Giacomo's homemade sausage that he has like different flavors that his family built a business off of. So it's like to take that and serve that. It's a specialty item and I really enjoy doing it. And it works out where it's advertisement for him and I can also use it and it's not as difficult to make as the burger. And then it's a win-win, but it's like even when you start getting into stuff like that, you're taking away from your business.
Yeah.
It's your main bread and butter, which is the burgers. I like that you pulled back on it. It's what I did, and I think it's especially with you having 5. I only have 1. And then like because I tried building into other burgers, but like I don't know, it's not what I started out with. So it's like I just go back to that one. And I do like making different versions, like the smash burger. You've done 5 different things, and they're all awesome. So like it's a great palette to build stuff off of. But at the same time, it's also like I started with that,
right?
And it's like it's my classic.
I don't want to change up my menu because if someone likes it this week and I change up my menu,
oh, we came for this. Why don't you have this?
Yeah, I'm like, oh no.
I just brought my daughter.
So I'm like, I'm gonna keep the fucking menu. Just keep it simple. I'm good at it. It works. I haven't gotten a bad complaint yet. Just keep rolling with it.
What was the first burger that you designed for the menu? Because I want to walk through each burger because I had them all and I want to pick through them because they're ridiculous. But what was the one that was like the catalyst to your first burger?
Damn. Roof on Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a Roof on Fire.
Where did that come from?
Spicy.
Yeah.
Just like spicy food.
Did you always put chips on sandwiches and stuff
as
a kid?
Who didn't do that? You got a hoagie sandwich, you put Doritos on it.
Sour cream and onion chips my grandmother always had.
We always did
Doritos. That. Yeah. Doritos too. And then I remember my brother introduced Cool Ranch Doritos to like, he wanted that. My mom started buying Doritos and then it was like ham sandwiches with Cool Ranch Doritos.
So, and so when you take the bite, you get the texture, the crunch.
Yeah.
So that was great. And then my house sauce just goes good with everything.
Yeah. So you developed that house sauce for the burgers in general, and you just kind of had an idea that you were going to use it. And then when you found it, you knew how that tasted, and it's actually impressive how much layering and the things that you do with never working in a kitchen before. Like I would have guessed at least you would have been a line cook or something. So the fact that
if in high school, if Arby's counts, does that count?
I did not know you were a sandwich artist. Yeah, so like once I had it, it was one of the first things I had because I think that was the first one you served. So like that one is you do the house sauce and then it's the smash burger.
So on the bottom is the beef patty with American cheese.
Yeah.
Then it's beef patty, jalapenos, onions. Then on top of the jalapeno onions, I put the pepper jack.
I love pepper jack.
And then it's the chips.
I can't wait to eat
then the house shows.
Yeah, because the chips, because you were like, eat it
before the
chips get sauced, and we cut it in half, and then you get the crunch, and it's a real experience getting into that because there's so much flavor, and then when you bite into it, you're tasting it and you're hearing it, which plays a big part into it too. So it's like it gives it, it's like eating like fried chicken or something that has a snap to it. Like It adds an element because you're able to hear it. So when you crunch into that, but then the bun's soft, but then the burger kind of melts and then the cheese goes in with it. It's a very unique thing. And then it's not too hot because when you said roof on fire, I didn't know, because there are some people who will just push the hot way too hot and it's kind of like a stunt thing. And then unless you're into like really hot shit, you won't like that. Like I've worked for a guy who was making burgers and they were too hot, and then it was only being sold to hot people. But like when you did that, it was like it was so layered where you went through an experience where you hear it and then you taste it and then you get a warm feeling over your top of your roof of your mouth, then back onto your tongue, and it was almost like it tumbled through the flavor, and then you're going back to it again to experience that.
And there's one thing I didn't want it to be too spicy.
No, it's a home run on not being too spicy. I like spicy food.
I love spicy
food.
And
that was the correct temperature because you can quick grab another bite.
Right. And
you don't got to be like sweating and be like, oh my God.
But I do keep habaneros.
Yeah, because there are other people that.
Because there are people like.
Yeah. This isn't hot.
All right, I got habaneros.
Yeah.
Or if you want, I could start carrying ghost peppers with me or something,
I used to do that at the deli. There'd be like guys that come in and would like constantly bust my balls about how it isn't hot, it isn't hot, it isn't hot. And then I started making their cheese. I'd like dice up like long hots and then like fry them so everything would come out, and then make the cheesesteaks in it. And then they'd take a bite with just sweat and be like, oh, these are really good. And I'm like, there you go.
I love spicy food. I was down in Houston. And
what were you down there for?
Visiting family.
Yeah.
And there's a food truck, Yummy's Bite. All right, I think I posted a video on social media, and they had the level from 0 to 5, 6, right? And 6 was like hot. I'm like, I'll take a number 6. The guy stopped. He's like, wait, what? Number 6? I was like, yeah, I'll take a number 6. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, I'm sure. I like spicy food. Man, that motherfucker was spicy. I died. I took one bite, instant hiccups.
Yeah.
Right? 2 bites, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm taking it. 10 minutes later, I'm bent over on the bench with my head on the table, dying. 15 minutes after that, I walked towards the fence, laying on the floor. I called for my fiance, and she's like, I'll be right back. I'm going to get you something. I was like, please don't fucking leave me. I'm holding on to your leg. Don't leave me. Oh my. So that was spicy.
Yeah.
And the roof on fire is flavor spicy.
Yeah. I like that it's flavor spicy because who wants to be in that predicament while they're out to eat?
Never again. I'm never doing that again. Well,
yeah.
I say that until I go back to Houston and try it again.
Yeah. No, I like hot. A buddy of mine had Scotch bonnets, and that was the last thing I ate where I took a break from that kind of stuff because I used to be able to push my palate a little bit further with the hot stuff when I was younger, and I didn't know what to expect with the Scotch bonnet, and it was a nightmare. And I had snot coming out of my nose, my eyes, and I'm just like, and he's like, this is a fantastic experience, and I'm like, I'm dying. I'm like, this isn't fun. I'm like, I'm not even drunk anymore because this hurts so bad. And I'm like, get milk. And then now I'm drinking milk with beer in my stomach. And I'm just like, dude, this is terrible.
You're all fucked up at this point.
And then this is the last time I did hot stuff with them, and I tell them to get away from me. They brought some jelly bean game down where you spin a thing and then it goes to each thing, and then he was like, here, just eat this one. It's not hot. And then I ate it, and it was like the hottest one. Same thing all over again. Snot, sweat.
What
I'm
kind
like,
of game? Why?
I don't know. So my buddy Michael DePrima from New Jersey. I blame New Jersey on why he did that. I won't do stuff with them anymore now because they just play it down, and then they're like, this is like a good thing, and I'm like, it's not. They're like, it's euphoric, and I'm like, this is awful, absolutely awful. But back to the burger, the way that was done, I didn't know how that was going to be. I can take spicy, and I saw like the peppers on it and stuff, and I was like, oh, this will be all right. And then it's almost like you take care of them in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it comes in there and it doesn't go anywhere else. And it's the perfect way to sell spicy to a crowd of people that you won't hear someone bitch and complain about it.
Right.
What was the second one you made then?
The Boogie on Bacon.
Yeah, I really liked that because it came in with the maple.
Yes.
Walk us through kind of how you do that bacon jam, because that's not just an easy task. You said it takes like 3 hours.
So yeah, for 3 pounds of bacon, beef bacon. Yeah, it was funny. I get a lot of people. What is beef bacon? Oh, fuck. It says beef fucking bacon. So I get my bacon, and then I cook it down. Then I cut it all up. Then I throw all my ingredients in it at once. There's one secret ingredient I use. I think it sets it off from what a lot of people use. But the basic, you get the onions, the garlic.
Yeah.
The apple cider.
Do you make it on the flat top, a cast iron, crock pot? How do you do it?
I just make it on a, what the hell do I use? Just regular non-stick pan.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing fancy about it.
It's just a slow reducing.
Just keep cooking it down until it thickens up.
Yeah.
And then you put in a food processor, get that jam consistency.
Yeah. I never made it. That's why I was asking, but I do love it. I always see it out.
Off air, I'll give you the secret recipe.
Yeah, all right. Because I'll get it with, like, when I go in the butcher shops or stuff like that, or if, like, when I used to go to my buddy's barbecue competitions, they would have, like, just people would have set up stuff, and you can buy, like, crazy, you know, the one was just like super smoked bacon, stuff like that, and then they had the bacon jams and like the accoutrements where you can get all the different jams and stuff. But when I see somebody when I usually see bacon jam on a menu, I'll usually go with that for the burger.
Yeah, and then the bacon. So there's the bacon jam on the bottom, with which is sweet, and then the 2 beef patties, American cheese, 2 slices of bacon, and then the house sauce on top. My house sauce got a little bit of kick to it, not much. So that's
it works well with everything,
right? So the sweet and spicy, some people think it's spicy. I don't think it's spicy at all. But the Boogie on Bacon is probably one of my bigger sellers because of the sweet bacon jam with the spicy house sauce. It just sells very well.
Yeah,
and that was my second burger I came out with, and then after that the Oklahoma, which is, like I told you earlier, it's not my original recipe. My take on it is my house sauce.
Yeah.
So the thinly sliced onions on top of the beef patty, as you smash it in there, it's like cooks it, caramelizes the onions. When you flip it, it still cooks it.
Yeah.
It just so good. Then the pickle and the house sauce.
Yeah. We were talking about it before with like where I saw George Moats doing it, and then you know, we're actually getting into like that it was from Oklahoma, and like, because a lot of times when you look at the different burgers, and then with George's YouTube show, like he starts going over like regional burgers and where they come from, and it's crazy how many, like, there's an area where they do a steamed burger, and then like his show's cool, and that's kind of when I started getting into like all the different burgers. But there's just something about taking the onions and smashing them in, and then they cook, and then when you flip them over, the onions are frying still, and it's not really like, it's like the whole thing's all cooking at once. It's not like putting fried onions on it, which is a different flavor completely.
It is. And then after that was the Philly special. As I told you, that was probably my last sandwich, because when I fucked up the cheesesteak, I still wanted to use the cheesesteak meat.
Yeah.
So it's
good cheesesteak meat.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It's all my butcher in Easton. Fresh halal and meat. Fresh halal meat in Delhi.
Yeah.
In Easton. That's my guy. And just the Philly special was the ribeye, beef patty, caramelized onions, and house sauce. That was pretty much the last one. And then the fried nut, I didn't make today. Obviously, I didn't have the French fries. But that's
so you do one where you have fries on it?
Fries on it.
Yeah.
So, like, it pretty much is like a regular cheeseburger, but I didn't want to just have a regular cheeseburger. A lot of people get the fried nut with the fries on the side. Two patties, American cheese, and ketchup. But then I throw the fries on top of it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people get the fries on the side. I want to have a simple burger, but not simple, you know. It's still pretty simple. Just throw fries. You can put any of my sandwiches, put fries on it, whatever, you know. But the fried nut is that with the fries on top of it. It is really good. And I'm not in the French fry business, but My fries are pretty fucking amazing too.
What do you do with the fries? Are they like fresh cut or?
They're fresh cut fries. Par fry them.
Yeah.
I mean, doing the food truck compared to a restaurant, it would be obviously so par frying them.
We par fried them at the restaurant. It was too busy not to.
Yeah. So my process takes longer.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm a smaller unit, I guess you want to call it. But yeah, I fresh cut them, par fry them, cool them, and then day of the event, pull them out and fry them.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much what you have to do with heavy volume unless you are just serving. I mean, even if you were probably just doing French fries, because it really cuts the time in half. It's the same thing with wings on wing nights in restaurants. They'll, what we used to do is like, because everybody got the cheesesteak and fries. You know what I mean? It was very rare you didn't get the meal because you got a drink and you save money doing it that way.
Yeah.
So we would come in and, the fry station was just as serious as the flat top where you had to be on your game. So, I mean, we would have this giant bowl and like probably 20 minutes before we'd start, you'd get probably 4 or 5 rounds of fries and you could keep up. But as soon as you got to because you can't make 9 bowls of French fries for the entire night. It's pretty much just to get things going. And then you get through the first rush, hopefully. And then you could either do it again or just kind of keep up the pace. But we'd be stuck sometimes where we'd blow through our fries. And then now we have to go back to cooking them regular in a fryer that just took a beating and the temperature's not coming up.
So the one thing is, once I did a private event, they gave us the food to cook for them. I'm like, all right, it's local in town. Let me help out the school. So they gave us frozen fries. Man, that sucked so bad. Because you put a frozen French fries in the hot oil.
Yep, because they have drops. They have the the crystallizations around it, and
I was like,
then you're like putting water in your fryer. Like
it was fucking horrible. I was like, I told my fiance, I'm like, we're not doing this shit again.
No, it's hard. It's hard to do that stuff.
Last year, I'm saying yes to everybody. Just get my name out. Now I'm like,
yep, you got to go through the gauntlet. I mean, we started out doing small events. Like we did finishers, and then we started posting it, and everyone's like, "What's up with this burger?" And then, then I got hired to do a friend of mine's birthday party, which was dope. Because she was just supporting us, because she always wants to. Like, she's so excited about that up there, because there's people that have, really supported this all the way up into where it's going to go brick and mortar, and then now they're a customer that can sit down and eat. It's pretty crazy to even have gone through that with somebody. So she hired us to do a party, and I went back to Gina and was like, what do you think? And she's like, well, we can get Violet, her daughter. I'm like, we can have Violet help me, and we'll make a sign. And then from there, I had, businesses reach out, and like Cigars International reached out, and they were like, hey, I saw you did Amber's party. Would you be interested in hosting this cigar release? Then we went down and did that, and then that was a success. Then they asked us back to do breakfast, and then because at that time we were doing the bagels, so then we started doing a breakfast pop-up, and then, I think it was, I don't even remember the first brewery we did. It wasn't Seven Sirens. I don't remember which one it was, but then once we did the brewery circuit, people saw that we were doing breweries, and then they started reaching out. Yeah. But then after last year, it was the same thing. We took everything. We were doing wineries, all that, and then you kind of figure it out. But with opening brick and mortar now, it's like I'm doing Sherman Street with Sugarmere and Local Stone. By the time this comes out, that'll be over. But when we do that,
that's the 1-year anniversary is this weekend.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So we'll be up there for that, where it's like a collab. But that's really the only ones I do anymore, is if they'll pull me into it, and then Gina comes in, and then there's 4 of us just crushing a busy pop-up, which is great, and it's usually good money. And then now it's like we have to focus on openings. So like I think in the next week or two, I'm just going to start providing like lunch from 12 to 4 for like people in town, or if somebody wants to drive into Nazareth and get food. But that's like nice. We have to slow down, because it's like all the time going into like what we need to do with like awning stuff and all this. It's like I can't spread myself too thin, and I know the work that goes into that, and it's not easy to just show up and set all that stuff up. And there's a lot of stuff people don't see behind the scenes, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. And I respect you and everything that you do with it, and all the other guys who do these pop-ups, and especially people who have to do them alone. Like, You got to get up there. First of all, you have to buy all the equipment. Then you got to get up there early. You got to set it all up. You have to make sure you're on the same page as the brewery to promote it. Then you got to like serve people, and then it's not.
You know, and
it looks way easier than it is, and it's quite a beating and a gauntlet to go through.
So what a lot of people see is the hours of operation, usually 4 to 9 or whatever it is, right? But I'm working probably from 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Or days before doing prep, all the driving around, going to the restaurant store.
And then, you know, so people don't see the drive, the preparation, and just like, all right, show up from here, you're good to go. So that was what happened not too long ago. I prepped a bunch of food, and I drove out to a brewery at I'm gonna call him out. Can I call him out?
I don't care what you do. Right. This is an open format. I don't censor anybody.
So, Funk Brewery. I drove out there. See if she's looking at me. She's shaking her head no. I drove out there, right? I'm scheduled. I got the screenshot email. I'm scheduled to show up. So I go out there. It's an hour away. Flavor Nation's smelling good in there. I'm like, what the hell's going on? What the hell's Flavor Nation doing here? I go inside. I can't find nobody. I go talk to Flavor Nation. He's like, oh, no one told you? I'm the on-site food truck. I serve here all the time now. I'm like, no one fucking told me this shit. So I see the manager. I'm like, yo, I'm scheduled to come. So why didn't you guys tell me there's another food truck here? Oh, he stays here all the time. You're more than welcome to stay if you want. Are you fucking kidding me? I was like, I have a lot of prep done, a lot of inventory that went into today. And then he goes, oh yeah, you know, it should be a busy day. You know, you can stay if you want. I didn't get an apology from no one. No one reached out to me. My bad. None of that. That shit fucking pissed me off. It pissed me off bad. Because that's prep work. That's the drive.
Yeah.
That's inventory. And now, luckily, Weyerbacher Brewery, Mike at Weyerbacher, I hit him up that day like, are you open? He's like, yeah, I'm open. I was like, can I swing by? He's like, come on down. So luckily
that was a quick save because I saw when you posted that, and you know, some people might not have posted about it, but I was glad you did because I think a lot of times people don't, and I don't care what anyone thinks about me saying this, but I think a lot of times people don't realize that we're taking all of the loss. We're all of that setup is on us. So, like, they're still going to sell beer if we're not there.
Yeah.
And they're still going to sell beer if we are there. But if we come there and we're creating a buzz and we're creating more business, but then nobody's buying all the food, or it's not a big night, or something's supposed to be very popular and it's unpopular, and we don't make out, they still made money on beer. It doesn't cost anything for them to have us there. There's no union of people in the cooking industry. I'm sure there are some businesses that say, hey, it's $500 for us to come out.
Right.
And that, or, hey, if I don't sell out, you have to pay me, but they're not going to do that with anyone locally around here. They're just going to move on to the next guy who's doing that. So, like, to go all the way out there, put all that work into it, set up, and then to tank on the night, or to, like your situation, to leave, it's extremely frustrating because everything went into, you're relying on this to work. You're not also selling beer and having a second income. We are the only ones taking a risk in that situation.
Right.
And some people could probably have somewhere to stand on an argument, but this is just what I believe is that the food people are the only ones taking a risk in that situation. For instance, if something falls out, they can say, bring your own food, it's pizza night, and then now you have places that that will do that, and then now when you go there, no one knows if there's going to be food there. So now what you become is somewhere where people go out to eat, then they come to your bar after, or they come there and hope there's food, but then there's usually light snacks or something that they can have at the bar. So you're really you're in a position to where it's like you're taking all the risk on this. And I get it's our business and this is what we're choosing to do, but there's also places that aren't set up like that, and you can come in and it works fine.
Right. So a couple of days prior to me going to Funk, I always post my schedule, right? There's a picture of a burger. You swipe the brewery I'm going to be at. I tag the brewery in, the hours and everything. So that Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever I posted my schedule, I tagged Funk Brewery in. So they knew, they liked my post. They seen my post. So they knew I was going to be there that day. It's not like they still reached out, like, yo, I have another food truck here all the time. You're more than welcome to come if you want. None of that happened.
Yeah.
And that Tuesday or Wednesday, you're going to see the post that I'm going to be there. Just all I was asking for, reach out or contact me afterwards. My bad.
Hey, man, really sorry.
Or just communicate.
Yeah.
Communicate.
Yeah.
None of that happened. So, yeah, pissed me off. And then Wirebrocker came through clutch.
That was a fast save, man. It was a fast save.
That was a great save.
Yeah.
Great save. I have a good following now in Easton now because of that. Look at my fiance is freaking out right now.
I don't think we're saying anything bad.
No,
I mean,
no.
and we're not bad-mouthing businesses. It's
No.
just a situation that happened.
Pretty much my bottom line is just...
And it's okay. It's also okay to not want to work with specific people because it's not a good fit.
And
Which I've gone to places and I was like, cool, like we didn't really do well here. And then like we did a winery. And we did all right, but when people go to a winery, they're not really wanting to eat a smash burger and fries and all this stuff. And like Local Stone goes up there and destroys. But then when I was up there, people were wanting finger foods, and then they were wanting to have pizza, and then they were wanting to pair their wine with things.
Yeah.
And then I was like, cool, wineries probably aren't for us.
No.
So like we left there and I was like, that's cool. And she's like, hey, I'll be in touch. And I was like, all right. And you know, I didn't hear anything else after that. But at the same time, I think we both knew it wasn't a good fit.
Right.
So it's like having this conversation, I want it to be normalized that one, there are situations that it is a big risk for us to take to do this, but also there's also places that just aren't a good fit and isn't worth the drive or isn't worth going and doing that. And I don't have to take everything.
Right.
When you're just starting out, you should take everything. But year 2, I took a big step back and I was like, you know what'll work better for me? Brick and mortar. That's not for everybody. A lot of my friends who do food trucks, they don't want brick and mortar, but that was just our scenario. But we learned that by going through the ropes, but that's the ups and downs. But also, with that situation happening with you, I'm sure there was positives that come out of it, where now your relationship with Weyerbacher is stronger. You know where to not go. And then if you get into a situation similar to that, you're going to nip it in the ass and have a conversation so it doesn't go any further to what it is, how it is now.
Right. So, yeah, my relationship with Weyerbacher is better. I'm going to be there for my 1-year anniversary, which is April 21st on Thursday. So by him hooking me up, I'm like, yeah, I owe you big time. Whatever you need, let me know.
Yeah.
So our relationship with them is getting better, is increasing. And then unfortunately it did happen, but in the town of Emmaus, I have a great following in the town of Emmaus. Like, I have a good following there. The people are great there. Fortunately enough, there's another brewery for me to go to, which I do great at. Jim's great. I go there all the time. But unfortunately, it did happen. It happened, and
the other thing too is Funk's going in another direction. I don't think they're really going with pop-ups anymore.
No.
It's like they're going to have their in-house resident, so it's like, cool, you can do that, but at the same time, you know, all right, well then I don't have to go to your place to do pop-ups.
Right, just let me know.
Yeah,
just let me know.
Where do you see yourself kind of expanding and growing this? What do you want to do with it? Do you want to do brick and mortar? Do you want to just keep kind of hammering out because you're still early on? Are you know, because you also don't just do the Lehigh Valley, you kind of go out a little bit further. Like, what are your limits to how far you'll drive? Where are you looking to get booked? Like, what do you see coming down the pipe and with the growth and the avenue of your business?
So I want a brick and mortar, but staffing, manning is just impossible.
Yeah.
It's hard enough.
I'm not looking forward to that at all.
It's hard enough for the food truck right now. I can't imagine. So for that reason, it's not in the future. It was, now it's not.
Yeah.
You know, and then the good thing about the food truck is the hours are more easier.
You have freedom too. As long as you pull permits, you can go in other states and.
But the furthest.
There's festivals.
Right. The furthest I do is 1 hour. 1 hour is my limit.
Yeah.
You know, anything outside of that, I don't do. I think the furthest I went for a brewery was 10-7 Brewery. Did great there, right? I think it was an hour and 20 minutes. I killed it, sold out. It was a great night. But never went back just because it's out of my range.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to go back. They got good food trucks there, got good beer there, but I just got to mentally set myself a distance ratio. Just 60-minute is my ratio.
Yeah.
Unless it's a big event. Like
if it's a festival and they're like, it's a 3-day thing.
I've done Point Pleasant. I went to Point Pleasant for a 1-day event. Killed it. Or food truck festivals in New Jersey by Megabytes. I'm a lot of food truck festivals this upcoming season. Central Jersey? In Central New Jersey. It's like an hour and 10. Morris Plains, Morristown, and Paramus, stuff like that. So with my food truck, I got the fire suppression system, the fuel shutoff valve. I could go pretty much anywhere. New Jersey's the hardest state to get a food truck.
Yeah, New Jersey's hard with everything.
So since I lived there, I had to go by their rules. But luckily, the rules are the hardest. Now I could go anywhere.
Yeah.
If I pull my permits, I can pretty much go anywhere I want to. That's why I'm at Seven Sirens. Bethlehem, they want a fire suppression system too.
Yeah.
So
they seem to be tightening up on what they have going on in Bethlehem.
I don't mind the
Emmaus checks too. Like that was the first place I went where they were like, you legitimately need to pull a permit for this, and you have to talk to this guy, and he'll meet up with you. And it was just a very simple thing. And from working in a kitchen and just from working with other food truck people, you just kind of know what you need and all that. So it's like I already had the sanitizing stuff that we had all the time. Like we're not running like it's Mad Max. Like we always set up correctly. There was maybe like 1 or 2 things where, you know, I talked to the guy before we came out and I was like, oh yeah, I should have that. But yeah, Emmaus was the first time out of anything we've done where they were like, he came by, looked at her stuff, had a temperature gauge and everything, and then it was just like cool. But then we were good to go, and then I knew from getting that I would be good anywhere else. But like when we pulled that permit with him, it was good for like 10 months or whatever it is.
12
months. 12 months.
12 months, because I think he's coming back soon. I just got inspected twice in 2 weeks, one by Bethlehem, and then
I heard Bethlehem's really hitting it this year.
Yeah, I mean, I passed, and then
but that's a good thing though. Is like you don't got to worry about that stuff if you overly prepared because of Jersey and everything. That there's not going to be anything like cool surprise inspection. Great,
go right ahead.
This is way past what you're gonna need.
Yeah, and then I had the Bethlehem the 1 week, and then this week I had Department of Agriculture, Pennsylvania, came out inspecting me. I'm just like, all right. Come on in.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Just inspect me.
That's got to feel good, though, to have that overly confidence. Because it's like, yeah, cool. I went through hell and back to get this. Where do you work out of? Is it a commissary kitchen you have? And where's that at?
It's in Hellertown.
Yeah.
It's in Hellertown.
I like Hellertown. Have you been to the Drip yet in Hellertown?
I did. I went there when it was all mushroomed out paintings.
I have yet to be there.
So I went there. It was like shrooms all over the walls. A little kid, and it was like trippy. So they covered it all up, and supposedly I haven't been back since they covered it up and redesigned the inside. But when I did go there, it was good food. It was good food. Good,
I think I'm going Thursday. Everyone keeps talking about the burger, but the chicken sandwich is more appealing to me.
That
chicken sandwich looks crazy.
Sandwich,
I've been still wanting to do that. Have you messed around with a chicken sandwich yet?
I did. I did once.
Did you have the fryer, but?
Oh no, not in my fryer. I just do it at home because the only thing that goes in my fryer is my French fries.
Yeah.
Just I don't want to mix anything else.
It turns into a nightmare.
Yeah. So, but I did mess with the chicken
sandwich. Did you like a spicy chicken one?
Yeah.
Like brine the chicken and all that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what was it? Buttermilk and all that. I did the whole process. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It's a lot. And then like we made one and it was really good. And then I was just like, I don't know how we would serve this to anyone off of a flat top. We're not getting a fryer, because I looked into the propane fryers and I was like, I think we can do that, and then I think we can kind of have it set up away and it wouldn't be too bad. And then somebody brought one to that party that I catered, and it just sounded like, those jet engine heaters that like you have in garages.
Yeah,
it was that. Like it was just like. And
really?
It just was like a rocket, and I was just like, you couldn't hear over each other. So like it would probably be the same thing as like running a generator the whole time. It's just super loud.
No, because I have a countertop propane fryer, right? It's not the tall one. Just
yeah, this is like they're like 4 or 5 foot, and then they have like the propane tanks, and then it's basically like mocks a kitchen fryer.
Yeah, no, mine's just a one that goes on a countertop.
Yeah,
and it does.
I've done those back in the day at Friends, but like I was looking for like a commercial. I just looked up like commercial propane fryers, and I was like, "Yo, this is awesome!" Not thinking that it would sound like that from the propane.
So the one I have is a commercial propane fryer. It just sits on a countertop, takes away all the other bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no kitchen experience, so I don't know what that noise you're talking about. I
this
can
is
imagine
the one.
The one I have is quiet.
I'll show you the one that I was looking at. It's like a freestanding one. It's probably like 4 or 5 foot tall. You hook up a thing to it, and then to get it hot, the oil hot, it's like a torch. So it's just like
nonstop.
And I was like, we almost bought one, and then I would have had to take it back, but who knows if they would even have let us, because I think like at that time, like we would have had to have it shipped. So like it would have been totally pointless to get, because you wouldn't have been able to like hear anything other than this blower just going to heat the oil up to temp. And then that's when I was just like, I'm done. And Gina doesn't even want to get a fryer in the new place just because the smells and all that. And at first I was like, I don't know. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, we could get away with using the oven for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it works if you could not use one, because then you gotta get we're gonna dump the grease and all the bullshit that comes with it.
People steal the grease too. Like Yanni over at Pat's, when I was over there getting a tour about his stuff, he was telling me he's got to put lids on it, because he has people that come and take it, and then there's people that'll buy it, and then there's people that come and pretend that they're the people taking your stuff out, and will fill up drums and go around, and then they either recycle it and use it or sell it. Like, it's crazy.
Where are these people?
There's a lot of problems.
Want their fucking number.
All you got to do is post on Facebook. When I worked at the deli, he put it out there and was like, "Hey, does anyone want the fryer oil?" And we would dump the oil back into the jugs, and then we'd put it outside, and once a week some dude would come, and I guess he did something with it, and he like ran his car off of it.
Whatever, I don't care what fuck you do with it. You want to take it.
I'm telling you, you just gotta post about it.
Oh shit.
So just wanted to wrap up, but like, so you just kind of like gonna stick to what you're doing. You want to grow your business a little bit further. You got your distances, and you're just gonna kind of keep banging out the same menu.
Yeah. For 1 year. My 1 year.
When's your 1 year?
April 21st.
Nice. So it's coming up.
Right. So the whole weekend I'm doing I'll be at Weyerbacher, and then Yergi, and then Food Truck Festival, and then Sunday I'll be at Sherman Street.
Is that Thursday?
Yeah. Thursday, April 21st, I'll be at Weyerbacher.
Yeah.
Then the 22nd I'm at Yergi. So the whole weekend I'm merch, stickers.
Hell yeah.
But I am working on a new sandwich.
Yeah, doggy. Have you had it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. But
is it gonna be a burger, or?
It is a smash burger.
Yeah.
Man, this is not gonna come out for a month.
No, this will come out. This will come out probably end of May, so you can talk
so
freely about it.
It's a smash,
I just chop it up and release it tomorrow.
It's a smash chicken gyro burger.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much I marinate ground up chicken thighs.
Yeah.
For like a day.
Yeah.
Right. So when I did my test run, I don't know, man. The marinated chicken just doesn't look like it's gonna hold well. You know, you can't make it into a bowl, unfortunately, but you could just get it like an ice cream scooper and scoop it right on there. And then I'm like, is it even gonna smash? And I smashed it. I'm like, and I got that crust like a beef patty would.
Yeah.
And I put some American cheese on it, and then I got my own tzatziki sauce.
I was gonna ask you the tzatziki sauce.
Yeah, oh my God.
And then what else do you put on it? Anything?
That's
Cucumbers or anything?
That's the thing. I'm not sure yet, because I don't want to bring LTO on my food truck, because that's a whole different ball game for health inspections than lettuce, tomatoes, you know. But in my run I just did, I had two chicken patties, American cheese on it, tzatziki sauce, lettuce, tomato, onions.
Yeah.
That was it. And but man, let me tell you, it was fucking delicious.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
There's one thing I won't push out anything that I won't eat. You won't find a vegan burger on my food truck. You know, I'm just.
The only thing I've done in that situation is I had it requested, and I told them to either bring a black bean burger, or somebody gave me a heads up and just asked if I would pick some up. So I just picked up a 4-pack of black bean burgers, which is funny because it's more difficult to cook than a burger because you can't tell if it's hot. And then like that's my only concern with cooking that stuff is I'm not familiar in cooking it. And then the other thing too is like my grill is just a deathbed of bacon grease and everything that you're complaining about, you're now cooking in. But like I said, if it's somebody who's just vegetarian and they're like, hey, do you have that? Or I'll offer it. I think maybe one time I did it was like a women's jiu-jitsu thing and a couple of the ladies had requested it. So I just told them, I said, bring whatever black beans you want. I'm not paying for it. And then,
so for my vegans, French fries.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's all
I don't know. The more and more I go down that avenue, I'm like, you know what? Nothing on your menu is catered to me, so I'm just gonna stay in my lane.
Yeah. So and for my vegetarians, I just do grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yeah. I have people that like don't want the bun and stuff like that, and then even that's like odd where I'm like putting a cheeseburger, they want all the toppings, and then I'm just putting it in foil, and I'm like it feels. It's not that I don't care about making the food. It's I can't make this food the way I make my other food. So I don't want to make you a vegan version of this because I don't have one. And if I did, it would be full vegan and it wouldn't be
the same.
It wouldn't be you taking all this shit and putting it in tin foil.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't have the boats and all that stuff. And, you know, I'm not set up to do it that way. And then I just the other thing I do like, which we didn't really touch on, is I like having control of all this. I don't like working for somebody in a kitchen. So like if I want to just do something a specific way, it's my choice. So if I don't want to serve something vegan because I just don't think it's necessary, or I'm not getting a whole nother flat top just to cook that off of, no.
No, it's not. It's not gonna happen.
It's not what I'm doing.
And if for my gluten-free people out there, I just put everything on a better fries, like not like a poutine, because poutine got cheese curds and great.
Yeah.
Same
but you can make
concept.
that. Like I said, I have the people that are on like Atkins or the meat diet, and they just want this and that, and they're usually cool about it because they already know it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, man, it's been a good ride, and
it's awesome. How long? It's 1 year. You're already doing all this.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you, man. You definitely with having no experience in a kitchen and whatnot, and to be able to layer the burgers like that, and it's not just like they're not stunt burgers, they're thought out burgers, and there's plenty of flavor there. I like the way you did all of them because each of them are unique, but like I said, it's not like you're just throwing a bunch of shit on there. And like I have friends who like just throw stuff on a burger and they're like, yo, this is awesome. There's just way too much shit. And there's marshmallows on it. I'm like, get out of here, dude. But the fact that you kind of like knew what you were doing and then you layered it, and then each one is so thought out between, the spicy one to the Oklahoma one and then the cheesesteak one. I didn't know what to expect with that, but you really layered them correctly, and that's what was probably the most impressive thing. Is like when you bit into that, I was like, cheesesteak. Then you get to your burger, and you're like, here's this burger again. And then there's the sauce in it. It's a fantastic job. I can't wait to come out and like have them, because I know you were like, this isn't my griddle. Like, I'm gonna put in there on the 21st because I want to come out to Weyerbacher. I haven't been there in a while, and it's just a straight shot on 33. So maybe I'll get Torres to come out with me, and we'll come out for the year anniversary. But it's super impressive.
Thank you.
I know a lot of people who want to do what you're doing, and they fold at the permits. And I tell a lot of people that come on here is like, when I was kind of coming up through this, I look at times and places where people would give up and people would quit the business. And a lot of people who I know who wanted to get into this business stop at the permits. And they're like, I don't want the headache. I don't want all the bullshit. So for you to go past all that, build out your burger menu, have a successful business that you're running, and you have your ups and downs with different things, but for the most part, you crushed your first year, and now going into this knowing even more.
Right.
Hats off to everything you're doing. I want to give you a chance to plug how anybody, because your social media is dope, because you got the burgers and everything going. Just give a chance to plug where you can go if anybody wants to hire you to bring you onto a brewery, if anyone wants catering done. Just let me know if there's any way that they can get a hold of you.
Best way, first of all, I'm gonna give a shout out for the permits and paperwork. That's all my fiance.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about fuck when it comes to that. I don't know nothing. All I do is cook good food. If it wasn't for her, I probably would have fucking folded too.
Yeah. Gina's the other half of what I'm doing. And it was funny because, like, when we started doing it, her husband was like, you know, if you guys ever wanted to do something, like, you have my blessing to kind of go off and try and make this work. And, like, we just kind of looked at each other like, we're already doing this. And then, you know, I'm so thankful to have her, and she's been a very adamant part of this. And you need somebody to be handling other things so you can focus on the quality and the ingredients, and it shows how well you guys work together, where you're allowed to focus on this, and then she's got her task, and then that's how it works. And it's just, otherwise it'd be too overwhelming.
Yeah, and it is working, and it works well. She got the paperwork in, I do the shopping, the prepping. And
yeah, that stuff's fun sometimes.
It
I
is
stop
fun.
at PJ Willahan's for a beer every time I go to the restaurant store. That's my, like, break.
So where people could either DM me on Instagram, but the best way is Why Not Burgers with the Z at gmail.com.
Cool.
This way she gets it too. If you DM me, I get it.
And then you're sending you to her.
And no, I'll probably just forget about it.
I'll have all the links and everything to what you're doing with your social media and all that in the comments. So if you are interested in checking him out, you can follow him in the links below. If you're a first-time listener, first-time watcher, this is neveragainstudio.com. It has all of our video, all of our audio, all of the merch is on there. That's about it. Subscribe to the YouTube. We're building the YouTube up. That's the best way to watch this show. iTunes and Spotify is cool, but we're switching over into basically a TV network. So that's what's coming down the pipe. So YouTube is going to be where the bread and butter is. So please subscribe. And I appreciate you guys coming down here and making food for me today.
Yes, let's go.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
I believe it.
Never Again Radio. Get into it, brother.